I've reviewed a lot of Bionicle sets on this channel, but I've never actually spoken about any of the Toa Metru. And what better one to start with than Toa Nokama? So, is this set any good? How can you use its pieces to build your own creations? How are the play features in this set? Well, let's discuss all that today in this episode. Here we go. Actually, let's start off with that gear function. It's the same as all of the other Toa Metru sets, but it is a lot of fun to play with, and this one I think is a little bit extra special. You'll notice that this set has these hydro blades attached onto her hands, but they're not directly linked onto the hand. They attach onto some Technic pins. This gives them just that little bit of extra swivel. So with this in mind, when you do move that gear on her back, this causes the blades to go flying around. She's like a ninja, skillfully moving around her blades with all manner of precision, speed, and agility. It's wild. Unfortunately, if you don't pose her arms correctly, they can get a little stuck in each other, or they just get locked in a position that does affect the movement, but it's an easy fix. One other little small detail here is the fact that you can actually see the gears moving through the torso. It's a little thing, but I really like it. There's something about gears moving that's just like right at the core of the aesthetic of Bionicle. Oh yeah, and of course, moving these around to hit an enemy, it's a lot of fun. And you better believe I had a lot of fun playing with this when I was a kid. I also appreciate the look of her weapons. Some kind of stylized anchor with some rope or a chain branching off of it. It feels like the perfect weapon for a Toa of Water. And as a kid, I always saw these more as like some type of fin that helped her swim with ease. Plus, I always saw her using these to climb rocky canyons, or I don't know, she used them to traverse some underwater caverns, all sorts of stuff like that. They're unique and pretty cool. And I think the same thing can be said for this wonderful mask. Some of the little bulging, bulbous details on here, they look very reminiscent of Bubbles. Or the bulging eye design here, it kind of looks like she's wearing goggles. It's all the little stuff like that that makes this really feel like a Toa of Water. And hey, getting another trans blue mask on another Toa of Water? I'm down for that. This was sadly the last Toa of Water to come with a fully transparent blue mask. But hey, I'm just glad this one has one. It looks good. And to top it off, Nokama is incredibly poseable. I can't fault anything about this set. It's sick. But what about the pieces that come in this set? How can they be used to build your own LEGO creations? Well, let's see. We're going to begin with this Metru foot piece. How can that be used in a custom creation? Well, maybe you could do like Ron Folkers has done. Simply embed them into the upper leg design. I mean, it replicates anatomy quite well. It looks good for a thigh. Why not? Another great dark blue piece that comes in this set are some Metru knee cover pieces. These guys. And Oblivious has a character here called the Abomination. When we take a look at the head, you can see that one of them is resting at the very top. And I quite like the way that that beautifully transitions down into the snout. It's quite a satisfying little design. And then we've actually got another dark blue one and a black one here on the arm. See, I think these pieces are a great thing to use if you want to create some very thinly armored limbs. It really is the perfect thing. Good stuff. Over to Nokama's mask. I mentioned before how good it is that it's trans blue. Well, why not use that to your advantage? Like Joxon has done here. I always envision this as some sort of electronic visor that has a digital face being projected onto it. An adorable little face. It's got that $D emoji right there, it's awesome. And look at the way too that it ties in with these insectoid wings that are coming out of the back. Nice to see a little bit more trans dark blue stemming out of it. This all looks so good. What an original and great head design. Maybe you can use this piece as some sort of visor on your next creation. Underneath this mask, and underneath the head that's underneath that mask, is this eyepiece. It comes in a beautiful trans neon orange. A builder by the name of Bionicle, they use this piece as some sort of head design on a little creature. It's kind of funky. It's certainly a different way of building a head design, but the small and compact nature of this, it works wonders. Very original. Every single one of the Toa Metru has this exact same armor piece on their chest. Nokama's comes in dark blue. How could you use this? Well, Ozcabot has used it on their creation right here. I mean, hey, whether you're using it for torso armor or for waist armor like this does, it's gonna look great. This is just one of those pieces that's so versatile, it kinda doesn't matter how you use it, it's gonna look good. And finally, those Hydro Blades. How could you use that? Well, Matt Goldberg uses 2 of them to create an excellent axe design. Now, it does appear that these pieces have been modified. When we take a look at the piece itself, of course, you'll notice that curvy line coming out of the axe head. I imagine that has been cut off or damaged, I don't know, and Matt's just using the anchor part of this piece to form the axe. So look, this isn't a purist technique, but hey, if you have a damaged version of this piece in your collection, this would be a great way to use it. But still, I reckon there's no reason that you couldn't just use one of these pieces to make an axe. Sure, of course you'll have that line coming out of the back, but you could cover that up, or, I don't know, it could just look cool coming out of the back of an axe. Maybe that's something you could try yourself. I reckon it would look good. Wonderful. That's some inspiration for how you could use some of these pieces. Now why don't we check out a revamp of Nokama? This one here is by Ero Okononen. I dig these protective pauldrons on her shoulders. Layering them with some of these curved slope pieces like this is such a simple but really great looking technique. And it does give off this nice samurai-esque silhouette. And I also appreciate the color changes here. The lighter shades of blue feel like a nice callback to some of her appearances in the old Bionicle movies. And then adding in yellow, that's just a nice contrasting color. Plus, I don't know, there's something so perfect about the yellow spikes coming out of her head. The curved shape of those lines, it ties in very well with the curvy shape of her weapons, as well as the curved medium blue tubing running down her torso. It's nice to see that curved line motif being repeated throughout all of the designs of the character. It's consistent and it's just very visually impressive. I'm also a big fan of this foot design. It's a lot more customized compared to the original set, but that works. And there's a very, very good part use right here. It's this dark blue piece at the base of the foot. You might recognize this from some of the old City Arctic sets. I never really noticed it before, but that kind of like noticeable piston towards the front of this piece, it feels so Bionicle coded. I'm kind of shocked that we haven't seen more people using this piece in their Bionicle creations, because it works. It's like a perfect fit. So yeah, lovely idea to include it here. Oh, and of course, look at how posable this MOC is. It's so impressive to see the range of movement that the leg has, and actually it also appears that the torso has the tiniest little bit of articulation. It's got a little bit of a bend in the waist. Great stuff. So that is Toa Nokama Metru. In my opinion, one of the standouts of all of the Toa Metru. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into this set and some of its pieces as well. And if you liked some of the MOCs that I showcased today, be sure to take a look at the links in the description below. You can find links to all those builders' social media right there. Thank you for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.